All right, guys, welcome to our AMA. We're gonna give you crazy answers to questions that you have, and it's gonna come from millionaires that have actually achieved the dream, what everyone wants, you know? So you wanna start with your story, bro?
Yeah, for sure. I'll start off with my story. My name is Vincent Fisher. A lot of you guys probably know me from Instagram, TikTok. I was the skinny kid who had the gym transformation. So really a little bit about my story. 3 years ago, I started working out. Like I said, I was a twig. I was like 135 pounds at 6'4". So you can imagine how skinny that is. And I got in the gym with my brothers. For 1 year, I bulked up, started blowing up online, etc. And I had a bunch of people asking me, like, what's your workout routine? Now, I wasn't making any money at the time. I'm like, okay, I can make money around these questions.
Yeah.
So I dropped a little $20 program, started making like $5,000 a month, I think.
Yeah.
And the only thing that changed along the journey was just the price point. Like, I switched from $20 routines, now I have programs up to $6,000. So really, you need more funnels for that. But I always tell people, if you want a high ticket life like we have, you have to sell some sort of high ticket item.
High ticket life.
And there's multiple ways to do it. You can do low ticket, super high volume, like mid ticket, medium volume, and high ticket, low volume. But where everybody wants to be is high ticket, high volume.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about my story. I started out with fitness programs, and then I switched over to mentorship, showing people how to do what I did.
And with that being said, Vincent, obviously we're doing stories, but to kind of jump in, and I think everybody obviously watching this podcast, the biggest thing that they want to know is like, how do you get started? Because everybody doesn't ever know where to start.
Bro, you're 20, bro.
Yeah.
That's
20,
insane.
like, how did you get started?
You're fucking driving a Lambo and a Rolls Royce. You're like Jack. You're a winner, bro.
Yeah.
Got a model girlfriend.
Yeah, so the main thing is you start by improving yourself. So I had like a year before I even started lifting weights, I was like a philosopher. So I started reading books and stuff. I'm like, okay, how do I become that millionaire? And then I got in the gym. I'm like, I can't do it being a skinny geek. You know what I mean? I got to at least get jacked.
Exactly.
So your level of income never exceeds your level of self-development. That's the main rule.
Perfect.
You can't skip steps. You can't skip steps.
And that's kind of what I was getting at, is that, you know, everybody watching is that they don't know how to get there. They're like, well, you're already around all these millionaires, so it's easy for you to kind of just stand under it. You get rained on and you can make more money because it's there, it's accessible, you have the resources. But it's like, that's not where we started either. And that's what they want to know. It's like, how did you start? So that's it. The self-improvement, guys. Discovery. You know, everybody online says read all these books. You don't have to read all the books. Find one or two good ones. Ask someone that's already a millionaire if you can. You know, even guys like us, and we'll tell you where to start. And once you do that, it's all uphill. It takes time. That doesn't happen overnight. I mean, years and years. Obviously, Vincent, success
For sure.
came really quickly. But that's not everybody's story. But I just want everybody out there to know that you can start with nothing. You can be a millionaire, no problem. And it only takes you 4 or 5 years. As long as you put your head down and just work.
Absolutely. What would you say your story is? So tell your story.
So I'm Dr. Russell. I'm from a small town in Alabama. Obviously, it's little nowhere. So, you know, nobody online knows me like you, Prince and Vincent. I'm just now coming up. But again, so I made my money kind of behind the scenes. Started out, same thing. No one believed in me. You know, I was the skinny kid, 6'1".
Oh, you used to be skinny?
130 pounds, graduating high school. Got beat up every day, spit on. You name it, man, it happened to me. I was the, what do you call it? The rich kid, because of my dad being an orthopedic surgeon and doctor too. But I didn't really get any of those perks, you know, because I was the nerd guy, you know.
So you wanted to get jacked.
Exactly. So
or your biceps bigger than people's heads.
So I just, get picked on and up. I decided one day, I was like, enough's enough, man. You know, I ought to be successful. You know, I was like, I guess I'll follow my father's footsteps, be a doctor. Obviously, do it because I'm type of doctor. But yeah, man, I just.
So you basically got a degree and everything, and you're a full-blown doctor.
Exactly. So I just started working out, got in the gym. That's where it started. Obviously, I was really young, 16, 17. Put about 10 years in at the gym. Obviously, a lot longer than Vincent to get there. I didn't blow up quick like he did, so it took me a lot longer. But yeah, I made it happen, man. And so it's, that's why I tell people I'm not a success story there. Doesn't matter who you are, you can make it happen. Small town, make millions of dollars. You just gotta know what you want, find your passion, go out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my name is Prince Fortunatus, and the way I got successful in many ways, I would say, because I don't think success is just money, you know? I started as an athlete, and I was 16, I was Austrian champion. I was winning races, 60 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters, I was Austrian champion. And then I'd already gotten a scholarship to come to the U.S. That's how I got to the U.S. And I was studying. So I was already successful when it came to athletics. And then, yeah, I just wanted to make cash. Like, I just wanted to be rich and just make cash, have a Rollie, have the bitches be looking at that shit. That's what you want, wear tailored suits. And I was like, enough is enough. I need to actually, like, not be a brokey. And funny, actually, so I kind of got started because I made a YouTube channel, and the first guy I interviewed was Andrew Tate. So I got him on an interview. I remember I did an interview with him, and I got so fucking fired up because that's what I always tell guys to do, to talk to associate with other guys who are way more successful than you, because it's just going to open up your mind and make you believe that you can achieve way more than you can. All these broken friends you have, all these losers, they can't do shit for you. I always say, hey, if you just have friends, you just partying, just smoking weed, you're a fucking retard. You shouldn't be doing that shit. Associate with better. And that's what I did. And yeah, but my first guy, it was before he was still famous. And I talked to him, I was like, bro, this guy has 14 supercars, like back then. I was like, that's insane. So I started, then that's when it started. And I actually opened up a model agency. So I have a bunch of models, and, they're on IG. Also, some of them do OF as well. And I help with all the marketing stuff, and I take a percentage. And that's how I, became rich. So now, invest in assets. I help also people in business. I'm a business coach as well. And that's my story. That's my story so far. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. I always say, what's the main thing that pushed you? Like the beginning thing,
yeah.
For example, for me, it was just being invisible. I don't know why. Some part of me was like, I need to be known.
Yeah.
I need people to know my name. I need respect. Because at the time I watched being a skinny kid, you guys probably all relate. Just watching how people look at you, and you can see in their eyes, they don't really go fuck about it.
They don't
yeah.
respect you.
Yeah, they don't respect you at all. So that was the main drive for me. I had that fire of, I need to be seen.
Like I said, it wasn't even about money being. It was more of hey, I'm a skinny kid and getting picked on. Everybody looks at me, they don't respect me. It's like, I'm going to earn some fucking respect. I'm going to have to.
I remember you were mentioning, do you think it has something to do with you being black?
Yeah,
in the white school and everything?
So I went to an all-white school, and at the time, I'm half black. So at the time, though, you're the black kid. If you're in a school full of white kids and you're the only half black kid,
private school, you're
the black kid.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a funny story. Before I knew how to make money at all, I thought to make money, you take money. So I was doing petty stuff. In gym class, I'd go through a backpack and see what I can get. And I learned my lesson about karma. So the only real measure of wealth is karma.
Yeah.
I was taken from backpacks, and then I got exposed for it. You know what I mean? They're like, Vince, come to the front desk. We found out you're doing this, that. And
Crazy.
The whole school, on top of being the black kid that fit out, now I was the black kid that stole. And I was like, oh, fuck. I got my name dragged, right? And then I realized you really only, the only real way to make money is to give. That's the only authentic way.
Yeah.
So I did it the right way. But a lot of people start thinking I got to do petty stuff and scams. It seems like you're getting pleasure at first, but you're digging yourself down a hole.
Yeah. No, that's actually great that you're saying giving. Because at the end of the day, you always got to give value to make money. Everything you guys do, at the end of the day, what's going to make you rich is giving a bunch of value. And then the people are going to want to give you money. They're like, hey, please, I want to give you money more and more.
Information now.
Exactly.
Is currency.
Exactly.
If you have information, you have currency. It's not even products or services anymore as much as it is information.
Yep.
If you can educate and show people how to do things like we're talking about, businesses, you're going to be richer than everybody out there.
Exactly.
It's 2023. Everything's AI now. It's all information.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, absolutely. And to your question, to what pushed me, bro, when I was 15, I was like a psychopath. Because I looked at everyone around me, and I was already at a point, I'm like, yo, there's more to life than just having some random job. Blah. So I would be in class, and I'd just say crazy stuff. I'd be like, yo, everyone who has a job is a brokey. And I'll tell the teachers, and they'll get mad at me. They're like, yo, what the fuck's this kid talking about? And I would just have the whole class argue about why you shouldn't have a job. And then I was just like a pure psychopath. I would just literally think all of you, you're all losers. It's just, you're all destined to be a nothing. And that just pushed me even more because I had backlash. I would just have pure class discussions all the time. And that just made me think, I need to be better than this. I need to prove that it's actually possible. And it's the conformity thing. A lot of people, they conform. They just want to be like everyone else. But that's the thing. I never saw myself
That's what it is. You just didn't fit in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was telling Vincent, I was at the club yesterday, which is a rare, because I don't really like clubs that much. But I was just like, let me check it out. And I was just there and I was just looking at everyone. I sound crazy, but I was just thinking, yo, I'm just better than all you guys. I don't know. It's just a weird feeling that I have. I don't know. Actually, Wes Watson says it too. In order to be very successful, you need to feel like you're better than everyone else. You need to have great impulse control. I forgot what the third one is. Do you know what the third one was?
I know the main one is you have to believe you're better than everyone.
Yeah, you have to believe you're better than yourself, than everyone else. And I actually tell everyone you should do that. You shouldn't be humbled. Being humble is a liability. It's a character flaw. The only reason you're being humble is because you listen to everyone else telling you you're humble.
Taught that.
Yeah, you've been taught that. Because
There's a difference between that too and confidence.
Yeah.
I guess you're better than everyone. Obviously, it's not like, oh, I'm not looking down truly on these people like it's a bad person. It's just, hey, I'm more confident. I can accomplish more, and I'm going to accomplish more.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes from for me. That's where my source of passion and being driven and making the money that I've made. I didn't focus on the money. I focused, like you said, on giving and helping people. The money came with it, but same thing, I wouldn't have been successful unless I had that confidence and been where me and Vincent were when we were younger. We're the ones that got bullied. We're the ones that got beat up. And we're like, enough of this shit. I'm tired of this. Yeah, I'm gonna rise above everybody.
Yeah, you need to kind of have this villain story where it's like maybe you start off a little bit at the bottom and just like you said, you're invisible. I think every man can relate to that. At some point in your life, you're always gonna feel invisible. You're gonna feel like you have no respect. And now it's on you if you're gonna earn that respect and take it. So, but then for that, you have to think you can achieve way, way higher and then put in that work and then you get what you want basically, right?
And so a lot of people ask, like, how do I get respect? Like, that's the main question.
Yeah, that's
like,
good. What would you say? Yeah.
You can see in people's eyes when they don't respect you when you're the skinny kid, whatever. The only way to get respect is start visually. Like, start by getting into the gym. It shows discipline. And then the money comes after and people respect you way more. Maybe you have that nice girlfriend everybody wants. That's more respect. To get respect, you need social proof.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to listen to you, even if you have something to say, until you have results. I was the same guy.
Unfortunately, it's just the way the world works. You know?
Yeah. I was the same guy in class where I was like, look, I don't want to be like my teachers. I'm not going to listen to you guys. And they're like, man, Vince, what are you doing? I dropped out of high school. They all laughed at me. But then when I came up, it's like, man, I always knew you could do it. When you have the social proof, but until then,
exactly. No one believed in me. My own family didn't believe in me. They're like, "What are you doing? You're not going to go to medical school and be a medical doctor?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that shit. I want to be a chiropractor and be a holistic healer." And obviously, I went and did that. They didn't believe me. They got to do it either. Like, "Oh, it's just ours medical school, but you're not going to make any money." And blah blah blah. It's like, bro, first year out of school, I made almost $400,000.
Really?
Back in 15 years ago. Living in Alabama, that was more than everybody was making. You know what I mean? It was like first year up, I'm like, hey, I'll buy whatever car I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, I worked hard for it. No one believed in me. I believed in myself, and you have to do that.
Yeah. And that leads me to another thing. A lot of people say, well, what if my family and friends don't believe in me? Like, you shouldn't give a fuck about them. It's all internal. It's all about you and what you believe. If water gets into a ship, it sinks. But if the water can't get into the ship, it stays afloat.
Yeah.
It's super simple. If you let what other people's opinions have on you affect your life, you're never going to be successful.
No, absolutely. I was actually just at my grandma's place, and she's hilarious.
Grandma?
Yeah, I was visiting my grandma, and she was literally telling me like, "Hey, you should just leave all this business stuff you're doing. You're flying around. Just go back to school." And just, I'm like, "Grandma, I love you, but you just have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean just leave my business? What the fuck? Like, am I gonna fucking tell my business partner, hey, I'm gonna leave this business now because my grandma tells me to go back to school?" Yo, grandma, I actually don't give a fuck about what you think on that topic. So you guys gotta have this mindset. You love your family, but sometimes you're like, fuck you. I can't listen to
you. You have to believe in yourself.
Exactly. Because then sometimes it's delayed actually. Sometimes your family is not gonna see the vision you see, and then it's gonna come later. Later, when you retire your mom, when your grandma actually sees all the results that you've been having, when you hand your dad like, hey, here's $100,000 as a thank you, then they're all of a sudden they're gonna have your back, which is funny. But it's not because they don't love you, it's just because maybe they don't see the vision you see yet. But it's your job to stay behind that and put in the work and just show them.
It's really all they know. And a simple question is, do you want to be like your parents? Do you want to be like your grandparents? My grandpa would tell me the same thing, like, Vince, what you're doing isn't going to work. Even when I call him now, And it's not to sound
Oh,
disrespectful.
your granddad too?
It's
It's
the
always
old-
the grandparents,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's the old saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Exactly.
They've been in the 9 to 5 life so long, they've had their success from it.
Yeah.
And that's all they know. Like, they're trying to help, but there's always going to be that uncomfortable breakout.
100%.
As opposed to what your parents did.
Yeah, and my grandparents are the same way. I mean, wildly rich. But again, my granddad owned car stereo shops. You know, he had 5 of them. But yeah, let's say they're pumping out money all the
Right,
time.
really.
But again, that's what he do. So same thing to me. He's like, oh, you're gonna be a doctor, but you're just a slave to, you know, some hospital if you come up with big.
Wait, he said that?
I mean, my granddad, yeah, because he was against even my dad going to a medical school. They didn't.
Oh, shit.
My grandparents didn't support my dad. They always looked down on him.
Really?
Obviously, generational curses. You know, same thing. My dad transferred that shit onto me. Oh, you're going to be a chiropractor, it's even worse, and blah blah blah. Then you know, we opened a holistic clinic after that, making millions of dollars. So it's like I said, no one's ever going to believe in you but yourself. That's what I always tell people about work. You just have to believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
Go after it. Whatever's inside your heart. You just, if you don't do that, we're never going to make it. Because there's way too many outside influences all the time. I mean, you get pulled in 100 directions if you let it.
Yeah.
The truth is, too, no matter what business you enter, I feel like every single one needs marketing and sales. So it's super simple. For a lot of you guys, especially who are younger, who are like, how do I get rich? I'm going to break it down very simply. To make money, you need to provide a service. To provide a service, you need to know how to market and sell. And it's that simple. And we broke it down deeper. You can go higher a ticket and get big chunks of cash at once. But in general, you have to know how to sell. I feel like that's the main thing. Sell and market. Because if nobody knows about your product, nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah, it's with the digital world, like we said earlier, you have to get your face out there. You have to build your brand. So for me in my business, it's medical. We do hormone replacement therapy, like hormone peptides, IVs, anti-aging stem cells, things like that. I mean, my clinic in Alabama started from ground zero. There was maybe 1 or 2 other clinics in the whole state like that. So when I started, yeah, I mean, we had 0 patients. And I literally went, I mean, this was back 2016, 17. I mean, my marketing was go to USPS. We made 1 billion flyers, paid $1,000. They'd go out to everybody's mailboxes.
Guerrilla marketing.
I literally went door knocking, you know, because people in town knew me. I went to every single business. Because back then, yeah, they had social media, but it wasn't like it was from probably 2019, 2018 forward. Like, everything's online now. So I did that, but also you got to combine that with your social media. You know, so you did have an Instagram. Really, back then, it was more Facebook. So we were hitting Facebook ads a little bit. Google was really the big one. And that's how I built my business, just that alone. So,
Okay, for sure. So would you say even now, like Google and Facebook ads are your main source of lead flow?
So yeah, even for my clinic now, and like you said, you know, we're doing, you know, pretty good amount of revenue every month, because it's, you know, once a business like that is established in a community, because it is medical and you're offering services and products, you get a certain percentage kind of locked in. You get referrals. Like every one person that comes in sends us 2 or 3 referrals now because we take care of them. But yeah, so you got your word of mouth marketing that way. But yeah, I spend, you know, thousands of dollars a month still on Google ads, at least 2,000 on Facebook. So like you said, you still have to market if you want to stay above the competition. If you're not doing that, you're never going to make it.
What do you guys think about marketing yourself?
Yeah. So that's huge. So
Like branding.
So
Yeah.
we have like 2 different stories. Yours is like controlled. For me, how I blew up was marketing myself, like just my transformation.
Exactly.
Literally,
Yours is pure personal branding because it's not really a business.
And I want to dive into ads later on,
Yeah.
but yeah, marketing yourself is huge too. I feel like especially with AI coming out and taking over the world, the only thing that you can stand out with is your personal brand.
Is you.
Exactly.
No.
Because what can an AI do? Like, it can do everything a human can do times 10, but I don't feel like it can inspire as well because we know it's a robot.
It's not a person.
Yeah.
It's never going to have the personal connection.
It's not gonna instill that emotional feeling that you get, like, you know, passion, drive, discipline, determination. Those things you don't feel that from an AI. It's just a sales tool.
Yeah.
It's all a sales tool. So yeah, you can only do so much. Yeah, same thing. Like I said, about 2 years ago, I started the same thing, branding myself as Dr. Russ. You know, got even a tattoo and everything. You know, and so you got to build your brand if you want to expand. You can only get so far, like I even noticed, you can only get so far just with your basic marketing tools and things like that. But if you don't build your brand, you're not going to leave that legacy behind like you want to.
Build your brand if you want to expand. I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Build your brand if you want to expand, man. That's all there is to it.
I mean, I think building yourself and branding yourself is the most important thing. I even tell people you should dress as good as you can, You should learn to talk as good as you can. You should just be that guy. You walk into a room and everybody can kind of tell someone is here, you know? There's like an interesting person here. You want to walk into the gym and everyone's like, oh shit, that guy's here. You know, you want to walk in the room full of bitches. They're like, oh shit, that guy looks more interesting than everyone else. So you need to do that, and you need to invest in yourself and really make sure that you can market yourself to the highest extent possible. I truly believe that's one of the most important things that even made me stand out when I was meeting millionaires and when I was meeting people who were very successful. Like, yeah, it's a look. They look at you, they're like, oh shit, yeah, that guy. That's the guy I want to talk to. Not that guy, he looks like a dork. Not that guy looks like a nerd. Not that guy looks like a loser. I want to talk to him. He looks interesting. I don't even know why. He looks interesting. I think that's super important.
Yeah. It's kind of like a rule of thumb. If they see that you can take care of yourself, they're gonna know that you can take care of them.
Yeah.
I even look at people when they come to me like, Vince, I can do your calls or whatever. Like, cause I have some closers. I'm like, I look to see if they're jacked or not. Like that is the main thing. I'm like, is he jacked or no? If he's skinny, I don't see any proof of discipline unless you're telling me I've made this certain amount.
Yeah.
It's just like a rule of thumb. When you're jacked, you can trust somebody more.
Yeah, it's a big thing actually, because what do they see? They see discipline. Actually, that's a big thing with girls. What I've noticed recently is girls will actually not compliment just the physique, but they'll compliment the work ethic behind it. They'll be like, oh yeah, that looks like a hard worker. You know, I like that. He looks like he's working hard. Because girls know it's a character trait. It's a positive character trait, and that's what you want. You want people to instantly trust you. You know, I never do contracts or some bullshit like that. When I do business with someone, I don't even do contracts. I do handshake. And I'll have people sometimes who are like, hey, Prince, you do contract? I'm like, no. They're like, why? Because people trust me. Why? What the fuck would I need a contract? It's a handshake. I have my word. As a man, you have only your word. And if you look like a trustable person that people want to do business with, and they can just see, okay, you're jacked, you look good, you take care of your, you know, appearance, your style, you know, you dress well, everything just looks, you know, I like how Donald Trump always says, like, straight out of central casting. He always says that.
Everything's just in order.
Out of central cast. But you need to look like that guy, and people would trust you instantly. It's almost funny. I think that's very important.
Yeah, and diving back into sales, it goes into that. Like the number one key to selling anything is believing in the product. And maybe the product is you sometimes. Whether you want to make the money, whether you want to get that hot girlfriend, whatever the case may be, you have to sell yourself onto them. Like you said, even the girls, when they see that you're hard working, they're gonna want to go with you, because it's kind of like, I feel like it's more of a horse bet to say.
Yeah.
Not to sound controversial, it's like, let me pick the winner.
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure.
Secure my future.
I got a perfect example of that too. Like in my business, in our brick and mortar clinic, I had you know, some new employees that were running the front, because we had some that left from different jobs.
Yeah.
And you know, they weren't as good at sales, not as quite as presentable as some of the other girls we had in there, as far as, like you're saying, your appearance, things like that.
Presentable, yeah.
Our revenue was down 20,000 within 2 months.
Really?
But again, the flow of the office worked perfectly the same. It was just the fact of the point of entry when they walk in.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to Vital Force. How are you doing today? Can I get you a water? I'll take care of you.
Exactly.
You know, being pretty, having their makeup on, looking beautiful.
Yeah.
Just that alone would sell more.
Yeah.
So, and I swapped that out, got 2 more really pretty girls up front, boom, sales will go right back up, and then double.
Yeah.
With a little bit of training. So like
exactly.
Saying, you got to
presentable. That's a great word. I mean, imagine just that these were, I guess, not the most attractive girls. You know, like not taking care of their body.
Right, like perfect resumes on paper.
Yeah, they need to look beautiful.
No problems at all with that, but just not the appearance of, like you said, we're branding a business. If your business is health and wellness, and you have to look good, be in shape, these other women coming in to get treatment, and they see the front desk girls, and they go, yeah, definitely, they're not pretty. I don't really want to like them. You're not going to sell anything.
Wait, so how do you do it? Let's say they're like in a job interview. You're like, okay, yeah, looks good, but you're not hot enough. Is that what you say?
No, there's some savvy ways around that. You know.
Okay, you're not telling them.
Yeah, I can't tell you that, but
you're like,
ways around it, you know,
wait, is that even legal? Can you
exactly. Technically, you're not supposed to.
Oh, can I like fire someone because they're not hot enough?
Yeah, you can't do that.
Maybe I should do that in my business. I mean, not even with the girls, with the guys. Yo, you look like a nerd. You're out, fired. Come back when you look nice again.
You risk your glasses, bro. It's contact.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny. I technically have that rule. Like I don't hire somebody if they're not jacked.
Oh, really?
Because it's like, why settle? You can find someone out there. Because when I was listening a minute ago, I'm like, you know, from a business standpoint, me, I'm a little different than y'all guys. Y'all's are more entrepreneurs. Mine's more, brick and mortar based.
Yeah.
Vincent said, yeah, let's say, for instance, you got a guy, I'm not going to hire him to do my calls or my IT stuff if he's not jacked. But it's like, what if he's the best freaking IT guy in the world? He crushed it and he makes you $100,000 more a month. You still going to fire him? So it's like, at the same time, you can find a guy that's jacked and that good. So why settle? Why not have both? Because if he's out in public with you too, oh, hey, here's my camera guy, or here's my IT guy that does all my marketing for me. Like you said, if he's not presentable when you go to make bigger deals and you want to scale your business, that's going to play a big factor.
Yeah. And that makes me want to go back and explain why you say, like, you hate, like, you shouldn't be working a job, et cetera, et cetera. That's going to confuse a lot of people. But it's kind of just like you said. There's always better talent out there. There's unlimited people to fill these jobs.
Yeah.
6 billion people on Earth.
The more, the more common
Yeah,
something is, the less valuable it is. So if you can replace a job easily, the pay is not going to be that crazy.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why he's saying, build yourself, build a business as opposed to getting a job.
Honestly, I don't hate on people having a job. I think a job can be a stepping stone, though. Because I have a lot of people.
Everyone's got to start there.
Yeah.
In my opinion, most people all start there. Because you have to learn certain character traits in a job.
Exactly.
To be disciplined, like you're saying.
Yeah.
You didn't get where you got overnight. Vincent didn't get where he got overnight. He didn't just wake up at 16 years old and, boom, magically just look like this and then be able to do everything. He had to go through the trials, tribulations. He had to fail multiple times.
Yeah.
Like I said, he had to get in trouble at school, go, oh, shit, this is the wrong way to be doing it. I need to actually give and help people. Then it's going to come back to me.
Yeah, sometimes and you just need a job. Like, I'll have people sometimes, and even let's say they want to get my coaching. I'm like, how much money you making right now? They're like, nothing. What do you mean nothing? Like
If you have no job.
you have no job? And I'm like, bro, like, how does that even work? You need some money somehow to even invest in yourself.
We're in the world of like at least 2 to 3 sources of income, even if you're just a regular, family household, mom and dad with a kid, like
Exactly.
Driving a basic regular Toyota Corolla if you want. You still need your day job, 9 to 5, and then you got to find you a side hustle, and that's how you get started.
Exactly.
You can grow up from there.
Because
I want to break down that quote that I told you in the car earlier. It's billionaires lose millions to become billionaires.
Yeah.
Millionaires lose thousands to become millionaires. But you want to lose nothing and get rich.
Bro,
It doesn't make any sense.
You have to make sacrifice.
you absolutely have to make sacrifices. And if you're a total zero, get a job. Just have something to invest in yourself. I always tell people, you must be a retard if you haven't figured out in 2024 how to get at least $2,000 saved up. Like, literally, you could even probably get your mom to give you $2,000 if that's what it takes to invest in yourself. But if you even haven't figured out how to get $3,000 and you're not even willing to risk that, then you're a fucking retard. You're gonna stay broke for the rest of your life.
Get these kids out here in Brickell selling candy bars all day for $5, man. These guys are hustling.
Resell shoes. That's actually what I do. I would just resell shoes. Just get some cash in real quick. Blow it on fucking clothing. And
Yeah, if you work your 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, go out and hustle. Candy bars, shoes, get them off Temu and resell them for $20 more. You can do anything nowadays to make money, to save, to invest that into what your passion
yourself.
actually is.
Yeah.
Or into yourself.
And that's huge. You said a lot of people do learn from like a job. I learned the reselling shoes route.
You did that too?
I learned a lot about business just reselling shoes.
Yeah.
That people can fuck you over.
Scam you.
How to map out, how to evaluate the product, see how much profit you can make. But it's the same thing. Some people resell shoes, some people resell cars, and some people resell buildings.
Exactly.
It's a whole different
Exactly.
The system is the same across the board. It's the scalability. How big you want to go? Yeah, like you said, everybody can start somewhere. You want to sell candy bars? Obviously, it's the same thing as selling buildings. It's just a little bigger scale.
$3,000 is nothing to be invested in anything. Like it could be. I know a lot of crypto dudes are gonna get mad at me.
Yeah.
But the best thing to invest in is yourself and your personal image. People, I'm sure you guys get asked, what are you gonna do if you lose everything tomorrow? I'm gonna take the same skills that I learned through all the trials and errors of my career and just apply them and build back up 10 times quicker.
Yeah.
Because now you have the experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the best thing to invest in is yourself.
Absolutely.
And when you're doing that, like, just a little deeper into that, like what Vince is saying, I think for the quickest, cheapest way to invest yourself, you just go out and buy a couple books. I don't even like read books. I'll be honest, I've never even fucking read those books. But like
You just buy them.
yeah, like Alex Ramonzi, one of those guys like that. If you want to do sales, something like that, like go out and buy his $20 book. Read that one book.
Yeah.
Read it more than once too. Read it 2 or 3 times because you're going to take different things in different parts, what's applying to your life at that specific time. Take that. If you got $3,000, buy about 2, 3 books. Obviously research what the best ones are for sales, scalability, whatever your business is you want to go into or you're already into and you want to make bigger. And then obviously invest the rest, in my opinion, into your appearance and your self-growth. So like obviously if you want to get a nice suit, like what Prince has, if you only got $3,000, go to Men's Warehouse. Get it there. You get it tailored. You get one for a couple $100. Look clean as hell. If you have to wear that shit every day, wear the same one. Get it dry clean. But like you said, when you're presentable, you're going to go out, and that's going to allow you the ability to make deals, even if they're smaller ones at first. And that's all it takes. And then the self-development.
And the truth is, a book is like a mentorship.
It is.
It's a mentorship. So I've had mentors who have written books, and I've read the books or watched their training videos, etc.
They're very similar.
I got more out of the books and the videos than actually spending time with them.
Really?
Because they sat down for months and wrote down every single thing they know. If you don't have access to mentors right now, well, there's no rich people in my town. All my friends are broke. Exactly. Like he said, the books. But make sure those people have the social proof. Like you said, Alex Hormozi, he made $100 million in what, 6 years?
Exactly. Alex Hormozi to me is one of the top guys out there.
You need guys with results. I think that's a big thing.
Real results.
Yeah, real trackable results with social proof and receipts. None of these fake scammers that pretend.
And his books actually have protocols and things in them you can follow, templates that actually will work for you.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, you can just go on his Instagram and his YouTube and watch that. We're going to get so much information. It's overloaded. I mean,
Absolutely.
You're going to be able to do whatever you want. If you can't scale a business off of stuff he's even telling you, then you got to go back to drawing board and figure something else out.
Honestly, I mean, I think there's 2 main ways to invest in yourself that work for me. So the first one, like you said, was invest in your image. That's like a big thing because people need to actually take you serious. Literally, when I was young, I would just get my $500 from reselling shoes and just blow it on stylish clothing. Because even back then, I just kind of knew the better I looked, the more presentable I am, the more it's going to lead to success because people can then trust more. Like you said, selling. If you want to sell, you need to be a person that people want to buy from. And then the second thing, I believe truly what changed my life is getting into mentorships. If you get into mentorships with people who have a proven track record of success, receipts, social proof, if you just apply what they teach you, there is no way on this planet you're not going to blow up. That's literally like going up to a bodybuilder or going up to a strength guy in the gym that's like super jacked. Like, hey, bro, can you literally the next 2 months give me a training plan, tell me what to eat, tell me how to train, tell me when to sleep, tell me just how to write down my training plan, how to write down my goals. There is no way on earth you wouldn't gain more muscle.
If you didn't get results, you didn't follow his program.
Yeah, exactly. It's impossible.
But that's a good point too. And
it's replication.
That's the problem that I see with a lot of people, even myself every now and then. I'll be honest. If I want to open a new business, jump into some new venture, I mean, everyone has fear. Everyone gets a little hesitant, but you just have to, like you said, have that self-confidence and know that if it's the right decision, you just got to dive that first. You've got to take the risk and do it. Because most people they have a million. I mean, there's millions of people out there that probably have some of the most badass ideas ever, and they never take action on them. And they could be, huge. I'm talking like world changing. These guys with pure cancer, whatever it might be. Like you said, be some billionaire and have yachts and helicopters and everything. But they didn't take that first step. They taken that one first step.
Yeah.
After that, it's like a downhill flow. I mean, once you get going, if you know what you're doing, it's hard to stop.
So you're saying like take that risk.
Yeah, if you'll take that risk and just take that first leap, like you said, you only got $3,000. He said, save as much as you can and spend that shit. Know what you're going to do is going to pay off, and then just hit the ground running, and it's going to happen.
The funny thing is, like you said, the brokies, they don't want to spend money because they believe the money that they have is so sacred and so valuable. But truly, actually, it's nothing. $3,000 is literally nothing. If you have $3,000, you're way closer to zero than you would with any other amount. Even $10,000, that's still too close to zero. You might as well just spend it, risk it, spend it on mentorship, spend it on having a better image. And even if you lose all the money, still the lessons you learned is gonna pay off way more massive. You guys gotta stop valuing money so much. You just gotta fucking give it away. Mentorships, people you trust, people you think that have results. Just try even courses. That's literally what I did. I spent thousands and thousands. Like, bro,
So you were just throwing darts at the dartboard, right?
Yeah.
You see, hopefully something sticks, right?
no, literally, like I would.
That's what you have.
But with people who have results, and then it's stuck. You know, when people actually have results, then it sticks, and you just replicate it. There's no way on earth you cannot be successful.
Call that proof of concept in business. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, you might try 10 times and fail 9, and that 10th one, you hit the nail on the head. You get that
Yep.
proof of concept. Then it's like, boom. Okay, now I have the golden nugget.
Yeah.
Now let's just replicate the shit out of this,
Exactly.
and we're good to go. But again, like I said, how long did it take you to fail 9 times to get to the 5th? Most people, let's say they do take that leap of faith like they are, and they do take the risk.
Yeah.
Well, they fail the first or second time, and they go ahead and quit after that. They go, oh, this shit ain't working out.
Yeah.
Oh, I spent my money. I don't have any work. No. Why would you do that? You got to just keep, if you believe in yourself, self-development, everything else,
Yep.
keep plugging away until that last ball sticks.
Like you said, all of us failed 10 times more than we actually succeeded, but you only have to be right once.
Yeah, exactly. Your wins are way bigger than, let's say you had 9 losses and 1 win.
Yep.
Guarantee you that 10th win is going to way overcome those 9 losses all day long.
Yeah,
I mean, I know it did for me. I mean, just going back to that, my coach would tell, I became a chiropractor, like I said, made some good money doing that. Wanted to get out of that because it's obviously a little manual labor, adjusting people all day. It's tiring. You kind of cap yourself on how much money you can make unless you just start bringing in more and more doctors underneath you, which, again, that's a lot of management that you don't necessarily want in a business. And you want it to be more passive, like us entrepreneurs want, So, again, I took that leap of faith, already successful, making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and said, you know what, I want to go bigger. But again, I had to take that risk. And so I had to, on my own, obviously, take out almost 300K, really open up my business inside the clinic we already had, another 3,000 square feet. And I built out an entire hormone clinic, dropped 300K of my own money pretty much, and then used, my rent money from the other place to kind of prop it up until it got successful. And obviously after 6 months it was green. But like you said, I had to take that risk. What if that didn't work out? I just lost 300K and put all this money in a whole brand new business, built it out, new equipment, paint, you name it, just a full build out. And that didn't go right. I mean, like you said, it's a huge fail for most people.
So what would you say, like, gave you the courage to keep on pushing, even if you failed? Because you said you've had times also before that you failed. Like, what gave you the courage to still keep pushing and to take that other risk again, knowing fully that you could fail again?
I think for me it was just my personal development and kind of me and Vincent's story of just like you said, always being bullied, but never wanted to give up. And I come from a military family, military background, and we don't take no's an answer. We never lose.
Yeah.
To me, I don't take losses. I learn lessons. So
That's a good point.
If I lose, it's just a lesson.
No, that's a good point.
And so I just always driven, because I think of it as, if I lose everything, I can get it all back.
Absolutely.
Let's say worst case
That's the
scenario.
mindset you gotta have.
Yeah, let's say worst case scenario. What's going to happen? Are you dead? No, it's business. You go completely bankrupt. You have $0 to your name. Well, weren't you at $0 at one point? Now, but you have all this extra knowledge, and like you said, let's say you failed 9 times.
Yeah.
Well, here's that 10th time. Start all over. Do that shit again, and keep going. Why quit? No one should quit.
That's a super good point, because you can always get the money back, right? And like you said, you were always broke you were already broke anyway.
Yeah.
So, you didn't die or something.
And going further back than you were from the get-go, so you look back, where did I start? Okay, well, if this fails, I'm just going back to the starting line again. It's like a video game. You just start over, do it again.
Exactly.
Respawning.
Respawning.
When I drive my Lamborghini, he's like, bro, he drives like he's respawns every time. I'm like, yeah, bitch.
Man, every time.
Yeah, what made you just keep on pushing?
But yeah, no, that's the thing too. A lot of people will say like, man, that's a big risk for me to invest in myself, etc.
Yeah.
It's less of a risk when you have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
When you get to the point where you have millions, you have a lot more to lose than if you had nothing.
It's way riskier to...
This should be the time to take all the risk in the world, especially if you're young. But the biggest risk is taking no risk.
Yeah.
Like you said, for you always had it inside you. You needed to be successful. I think the number one thing is belief.
Yeah.
Belief. You have to have that inside you. If you don't, and you don't take the action, it's never going to happen.
Yeah. Just think about somebody building a house, right? You build the blueprint before you start putting bricks down. If somebody was just putting bricks down and you come up and say, what are you building? And they're like, I don't know. You're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You gotta build the blueprint first and then start working towards that goal. That's key.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, that's you guys are making very, very great points, because you just can't be afraid in life. I think bravery is one of the biggest predictors of success. You need to be braver than anyone else, and that means also risking, maybe even losing money. I've lost literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I just went, oh shit, oops, I guess I gotta go back to the drawing board. I just gotta figure it out again.
And to keep your business, you have to keep your emotions completely out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you put your emotions in business, 100%, you're going to fail 10 times out of 10. That's another big point for me is keep your emotions out of it. Make sure you stay on point, on track, you follow the numbers, whatever sheet or blueprint you have. Doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah.
Don't sway from that, because this moment you do, that's when you get emotional. That's when you make poor business decisions, and that's when you lose a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true.
That's huge what you said too. We've all probably lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, what have you risked? The reason we're here is because we sacrificed a lot more. It's dumb, whether it's dumb shit too. I even put a bunch of money into like stocks and stuff for a year.
Oh, we've all done that.
Lost
I put
a
it in
couple
crypto.
$100,000.
Bro, I once
And then
lost
went
like
back to
80
it.
grand in one day in crypto when I woke up. I took a nap. I was like, yeah, fuck this shit. Let me take a nap. Woke up, 80 grand down. I was like, fuck. I guess shit happens. Just went to breakfast. Ate some breakfast, yeah.
Let it sit, come back up.
Yeah, coming back, I was like, yeah, I'm still fucked.
What are your guys' opinions on like people playing video games?
I think you should be playing live. And everyone who's like seriously playing video games, in my books, is a retard. Because you could just literally take that same concept and apply to real life. Like you said, the respawning. You should be playing life. You should view life as a video game. If you're truly in 2024, still glued on the screen, playing video games, I can almost assure you, not a single bitch is gonna get wet off that. You should take that, fucking put it into real life, and make something out of yourself.
Yeah, that's huge too. And I always make fun of video games too. But a funny story is, the first thing that taught me self-belief was video games.
Really?
I was a skinny nerd playing Fortnite, and I got on the game every single day, practiced every day, high ground retakes and stuff. People that know Fortnite know that. And I showed myself that if I do something long enough, for one period of time, I could become successful.
Yeah, that's a funny part. That's an interesting part, actually.
Then I put the game
Everything in
down.
life can teach you lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what makes all of us each
Bro, I used to play Pokemon like crazy, though. I was super determined. I got like all the Pokemon. But then I was like, wait a
You're
minute.
not near as cool as you were now, bro.
But I was like 8 years old, you know? But I was like, okay, fuck this shit. Let me actually what happened is I lost the fucking video games, and that traumatized. I was like, fuck, I lost. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna play this in real life. I ain't fucking playing video games anymore. Fuck that shit. Like, what do you mean? Now I'm working like fucking months on end to get this Pokemon, and now I lost a video game that's done? Nah, fuck that shit. Bro, play in real life. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just take that same discipline from the game. I took that same discipline from Fortnite, for example, and I put it into the gym for a year and blew up, like with the same drive and determination. I'm going to fail. I'm going to have bad days. I'm going to keep showing up.
Exactly.
And then I'm going to see results. It's that simple. You could find a lesson out of anything.
Yeah.
So for the people in school, you study and then you have the test. But in life, you have the test and then you study. But you need to go through these tests and trials. If you're the guy that's going to play it safe.
People are
never
afraid
go
to
through
fail.
anything
That's the
tough.
problem. You
Yeah,
can't be afraid to fail. If you're afraid to fail in business, you're never going to make it. You've already lost.
Yeah, for sure. And it's easy. What you fear, you attract to some extent too. If you're focused on, I'm sure you were well aware of what could go wrong when you took out the 300,000, but that wasn't what you were focused.
No,
on.
it's definitely not. It's like,
Focused on winning.
yeah, I mean, like, because I'm more of a medical background, the way they teach you, the way they train you, and I don't even want to say indoctrinate, some of that shit really is. It's like, you got to
medical
think
school, then
worst
indoctrinate.
case scenario person. Let's say we're talking about lung cancer or something like that. Obviously, they're looking at that. You're thinking worst case scenario. Or if we see something on an x-ray, yeah, it's like, okay, this is some sort of cancer, and then you backtrack the other direction. So, yeah. So I applied that in my life, though, where I've always just gone, okay, whatever it is, whether it's business, friendships, financial stuff, it doesn't matter what it is. I go, okay, what's the worst case scenario that could happen? I'm going to prepare for that, but obviously I'm going to prepare for the worst, but I'm going to plan for the best scenario of an outcome. And then if it falls somewhere in the middle, awesome. I'm prepared and I'm planned for both, and then you're good to go. Then there's no stress. There's no more fear. That takes the fear out of the equation.
Yeah.
And that's why I was successful. I think it's because I learned to mitigate the fear or being scared of the risk or whatever it might be. Because I'm like, okay, here's the worst thing that can happen. Here's the best thing that can happen. All right, cool. If we end up at 40 or 50%, awesome. Still a win. We didn't lose all the way. We didn't get 100%. Let's go 50, and then we can just improve from there.
But what's your guys' opinion on weed?
Oh, man, weed, I mean.
Because actually here in Miami, bro, I keep like smelling weed. Is it legal here or something?
It's really controversial. I mean, obviously, it has its medical purpose. Being in the medical world, I think it's a good thing, if you truly need it for certain situations.
So on the medical.
got migraines, you can't sleep, something like that. They have certain weeds that do help you focus.
So
it's better than like certain prescription drugs like Adderall. But yeah, if you're smoking it recreationally, you're gonna be lazy as hell.
So there's a huge point here. There's a huge point. Weed makes you comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. A lot of you guys are supposed to feel that discomfort of being broke, of not getting the respect you want, of not being jacked, and then you smoke weed and you're comfortable again.
Yeah.
I don't feel like normal people should be smoking weed. I smoked weed in school to pass time, to feel comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. I feel like that's all it really does.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, actually. Yeah, because kind of you're in a shit situation. People always go, oh, I'm so stressed. The reason you're stressed is because your brain is trying to tell you something. Your brain is telling you you should not be at the place you're at right now.
Alarm going off.
Yeah, you should be improving everything, even sadness after heartbreak. That signal from your brain telling you, yo, bro, you weren't the guy that she wanted. If you were at a way higher level, there's no way she could have replaced you. We need to work harder now. But you didn't take the blunt, smoke it, get high, and now you're like a fucking loser. You just turn it off. You turn off this masculine drive in you that makes you succeed. And you should never, ever turn it off. That's a big no-no. So you should always take these things that make you uncomfortable. You should just stay in it, marinate, and then just use that as a drive to become even better. Never kill it. You should never, ever kill that uncomfortable feeling you have inside of you.
That applies to everything in life. I mean, everything in this world now, especially in the U.S., is targeted to demasculate men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's to make us complacent,
Soft.
make us comfortable, make us soft. Yeah. It's like I was never that way. I grew up in that military family, man. Everything like me, hard as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad didn't let shit go by. I mean, he'd come up in the morning, obviously, I was, let's say 8 years old, like you watching Barney and that kind of shit. Man, I didn't do that shit.
Oh, really?
You know, it was fucking 6 a.m. He's in my room, flipping my bed over, dragging me out of bed, taking me outside to do push-ups and shit.
Really?
In the backyard at 6 in the morning before I go to school.
Yeah, I got to
Like that's how I grew up. I got my ass beat every day. I mean, I'm talking. You do something wrong, you get the leather belt with metal buckles on it, and I got
my mom used to do that.
You know, you name it, it happened, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, so you know, but
Tough upbringing.
That's child abuse. I'm like, it's really not, honestly. If it's done properly, it's just like the military.
Yeah,
I mean, it was training for me. It was discipline. It told me correction. It told me to do the right thing, do it when I was supposed to, and that's why I'm successful. Because it's like I don't take no for an answer.
Fantastic.
Because of that discipline I got. Obviously, it was harsh, it's rough, but at the end of the day, it made me strong as shit. Mental fortitude, physical fortitude. You know, I know there's no one out there. I'm parallel. I guarantee you, I'm actually.
Interesting. I would say your upbringing kind of shaped you.
My upbringing was completely different. I didn't have a masculine role model in the house after 9 years old. My dad passed it when I was 9 years old, and I was raised by my mother. I was supposed to become a geek, a nerd, and all the above, right?
Yeah.
But I realized, like, I just found out through the experiences of life, you have to be a man. Like being feminine isn't an option for a dude. So I just went out there and went through the trials, and I'm like, it's a better way of living to wake up, to be disciplined, to get on top of your shit. But for me, also losing my father at a young age, that's what eliminated the fear. Because at that time, when you're 9 years old and you lose your father, that's the most like important time to where like, damn, that's my hero.
Yeah, for sure.
Little thing too. So
You get through anything. Even
like,
now,
I overcame that. I'm good. I'm not super sad anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, all right. I think I can.
And
I think I can take on anything that life throws at me. My dad just died. I'm good.
Yeah.
I respect it a lot.
Bad, but it's like you overcame it.
Yeah, even now, it's like you lose 100 grams, it's like, oh shit, it's not as bad as my fucking dad. It's really true that
It's green paper. You can replace it.
that plays a role, yeah.
So would you say that trauma hardened you? Because with a lot of people, when they have traumatic experiences like that, it kind of destroys them internally and they never recover. So you would say you were able to like harden and get better afterwards.
I wouldn't even say harden, but I'd say like numb to some degree. To some degree. I had a guy tell me when there was pain there, he was like, Vincent, one day the pain will all pass and it'll just be memories. At the time I was devastated, right? Mm-hmm. And I took that quote and I remembered it, and now it's just memories, you know. But I lost that piece of myself, I guess.
Time heals all wounds.
It is great for business, though. It's great for business.
Okay. All right, guys. Let's do the questions.
For sure. I'm gonna pull up some questions from this Instagram question thing I made.
Okay.
We should all drop our Instagrams too. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mine's Vincent Fisher _Prince.
Yeah, mine's is Fortunatus _Prince.
Dr. Russ at dr.rruss.
That's good. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna scroll through the questions. I'm gonna read the best one.
That's a lot of questions.
So how do you not go broke after becoming rich?
Well, by just not being a retard. Look, how do you go broke? By just spending all your money. It's a really straightforward question. Just don't spend all your money. Most of the guys actually I know, once they make a lot of money, they'll just literally pack their bags, just travel everywhere, go to clubs. I have friends that should drop like 10 grand in the club, and then they come up to him like, yo, bro, are you fucking stupid or something? Why did you drop that much money inside the club?
There's no equity in that.
Yeah, exactly. The way you actually never ever go broke after you made money is by investing it back into assets and things that will grow your money long term. A lot of people that go out and they start buying liabilities. And actually, in my opinion, the worst thing you can buy after you make money is experiences, because you can never ever get that money back, like ever. Even let's say you just go on a yacht, just spend a bunch of money. That's one experience, and then you never get the money back. You should literally, I even recommend just buy clothing, buy materials, buy a new laptop. At least you have something in your
At
head.
least there's some sort of tangible equity that you
Exactly.
can use for at least some short period of time.
Yeah.
Say it's a coat.
Buy a Rolex. At least if you go completely broke, you know you got fucking 20 grand in your wrist, you sell that shit. But spending it on experience, clubs, chicks, that's stupid. I think that's the main way that people actually end up going broke.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it gets out of control so quickly. You get sucked into that lifestyle, especially down here in Miami.
And then you want to keep up that lifestyle because you think you're the big shit now.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, when you have a Rolls Royce and a Lambo and a Bentley truck, you can just sell it.
You can't go broke.
just sell
It's
it,
impossible.
you know?
Yeah.
If you were to go broke. But one question a lot of people are asking is like, what would you do if you start from zero? We had that like 7 times.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of what we were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah, we kinda-
I was like, hey guys, how do you, these people who have nothing, how do they really get started? Because obviously all of us started at zero too, but
yeah,
never
yeah.
really explain that fully.
So let me just take it into, we'll just go through it like personally.
they want like a breakdown,
Yeah.
realistically.
If I started from zero, assuming I didn't have a physique, maybe I didn't have the same knowledge I had, the first thing I would do is, like we say, get a job. Like I just
Yeah.
get a job.
Yeah.
But get some sort of 9-to-5 job, make it as much money as you can. Let's say it's $25 an hour, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find something like that, get in there, do that.
Yeah. So I would get a job, but specifically in sales. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have your base pay, and then you have a commission based on how well you perform. After that, I'd get a fucking gym membership. I'd record my whole journey like I already did.
Yeah.
And then in a matter of time, I'd just blow up doing the same thing. I'd promote that.
That's a good point.
program. That's what I would do if I started from zero today. So
Yeah, that's a great point, because really, everyone has their story of getting rich. There's just not one way to get rich, right? You can do it your way, but all the principles are the same. Like you said, you first need like money to invest in yourself. That can be getting a job. I mean, literally, if you're like super broke, let's say you're like a broke 18-year-old, you can maybe like get your mom, just literally have her plan, explain why and how you're going to spend the money that you're going to get from her, explain what the end result is, have an actual plan, present it to her, be like, hey, mom, can you front me the money?
Can I get a loan from
Yeah,
it? I'll pay you back.
you can get a loan, exactly. Or you just get a job and have at least a job. And then what I personally would do, that's how I made it, I searched and seeked out people that I saw were hyper successful in their field, right? And basically what I did is I gave them money in a mentorship, and then I was like, just teach me exactly what you do, and then I just replicate it. A lot of people think like you need to be the next Mark Zuckerberg, the next Jeff Bezos to make a bunch of money. That's not true. What you literally just have to do is pick one business, replicate it, do it as well as you can, and then preferably a business where you don't need money to make money, right? Those are the worst businesses. Like dropship, I don't like drop. I used to do drop shipping. I went completely broke because you need money to make money.
You gotta have like 20, 30K just to start something.
The best thing you can do, actually, in my opinion, is a service-based business. Something where like, hey, look, I can do X for you, even for free for a while, and you just pay me in the additional percentage that I make for you. I'll do a free trial, you see if you like it, and if you like it, then you pay me. Because now you don't need money to make money. You just need your time and your dedication. But best, really truly, find a mentor, because then you're gonna not do all the errors that you would be doing otherwise. Find a mentor, literally. Just if it's like a coaching that costs $3,000 lifetime, just be like, hey, here's the $3,000. Teach me, and just reach out to him every single day, every week, have calls with him, and make sure you get it done perfectly. And if you're not a dickhead, you gotta make money. That's how it was for me, truly.
Yeah, for sure. What would you do if you started from zero tomorrow?
From zero. Well, for me, I'm a little bit more unique than you guys, a little different, because obviously
You're old school.
I had to go through 10 years of school,
Exactly.
making
Yeah.
$0, going on loans, from the government for school. So I got out, obviously made my first dollar, had to pay all your loans back, and get out of debt, and then get into the positive. But yeah, starting over, obviously if I was living down here or somewhere like Alabama where, there's not a lot of opportunity for entrepreneurship, there's not a lot of big wigs, you can kind of just walk up in the gym or go to some club and meet and say, hey man, I want to pay you to do a mentorship and be able to learn all that. Yeah, I would do something similar like what Vincent's saying. I would just, I would have a 9-to-5 job. I would try to hustle and sell some small things on the side, some sort of service, or even like you said, if I didn't know anything, find some sort of small product.
Yeah.
Whether it be a car cleaning spray that I found on Amazon that you could be an influencer and sell and make commissions. Do that. But one of these, we're in 2023, going to 2024 now. There's so many things you can make money on the side. I would do that and start stacking my money like you were saying, and then put that into, creating a big mentorship, find the right guy that I want to use, whatever field we want to go into, pay him, and then just suck everything up you can.
Yeah.
That's really the only way to do it. And obviously along the way, you're building your personal brand. So like you said, you got to be in the gym. You want to be posting on your social media twice a day. You got to have a blueprint for that. Showing your story, showing the entire process. So that way, when you get to the point where you are influential enough and people respect you, that anything you tell them to do, they're going to follow it because they trust you. Like you said earlier, it's all about the trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's huge. And notice how we all started. We didn't skip the first step. You have to get a job. A lot of people are like, how do I make passive income, this, that? You have to stack your active income first.
Yeah.
Bro, I was washing cars at Malloy Ford in Alabama when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
I was a car washer. Then I moved up, started selling cars.
Yeah.
Again, stacked as much money as I could because I knew I was going to go to some sort of medical type school because that's really what was just expected of me. So I just knew, I was like, okay, I got to start saving money.
Yeah.
I have all these loans. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And obviously all that went towards school. When I got out, it put me in a lot better position. So yes. Now, same concept, just, different application.
Different application. Okay, yeah, that's great. That's great. Actually, active income, I believe, doesn't even exist. Passive income, I believe, truly doesn't exist. You always gotta be putting in some work. Either you're growing or you're dying. And I see this with a lot of people. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, my business is passive now." You check back 6 months, they're fucking down 90%. I've seen that. I go, "Oh yeah, I don't need to work anymore." Blah blah blah. If you don't work on it's like watering a plant. That's how you gotta look at it. So get that idea out of your head of like having complete passive income. Even if it's real estate, you still got to make sure that people are not fucking you over. You still got to make sure that people not scam you. You still got to make sure that, contracts, you got the banks, mortgages, inflation, the interest rates, that everything is there perfect, and that the house is being cleaned, that you don't have dickhead tenants. It's always some sort of idea or work that you have to put in, or else your business is going to die. Passive income, I believe, truly in that form doesn't exist.
I explain passive income as almost like you're just not stuck in your 9-to-5 behind a desk where you can't do other things.
Yeah.
It's obviously you have your business, like for me, my main business in Alabama. Well, I'm not actively there every day.
Yeah.
You
can be more a little bit hands off.
I go home, I check on it once a quarter, I stay for 3 or 4 days, I oversee, I make some tweaks and adjustments.
Yeah.
Then I come back, I do everything else from my phone. So I talk to my clinic director, do once, twice a day, spend about 2 hours doing that. So again, yes, it's passive income because I'm not working inside the business, but I'm working on my business through my main other directors daily. So you still have to work on the business, you're just not inside of it.
Exactly. That's a great point. Work on your business, not on your business.
That to me is what true passive income.
The whole key in the meaning of life as a man is self-development. It's not about the milestones you hit. It's just about getting better.
And that's where the struggle is, because it's like at what point, especially like you, Vincent, kind of being almost like spiritual Christian, you always want to give to get. It's like at the same time, it's like at what point do you say, okay, I'm content with where I'm at. I'm happy. I'm comfortable. But your mind is also telling you it's not enough. Drive, go, do more, push, go make that deal, make more money. So it's like, can you, in my opinion, it's like in life, and we're looking at everything, it's like, can you learn to be happy where you are, but still push for more, but not get too obsessed with it where it it robs you of your daily joy where you lose focus on like the present. Because you're always going to be looking to the future, but you have to focus still on the present, but you also have to be aware of the past and your mistakes. So that for me is a big point that I tell people, because it's huge. To me, that's a big one.
I mean, I just believe the process is the way. It's not even about just the goal. I give it a perfect example. Let's say
It's a journey.
It's a journey. Let's say you're Usain Bolt. You're on the world record. You think, okay, I made it, and then now next race, okay, what's the goal now? Let's say you don't run the world record, and you're like under. You gotta feel that sting of like, yeah, but I didn't run the world record. So now the bar has been raised. You always raise the bar, and then you need to outperform that bar because that's gonna be your standard. At the very beginning, my goal actually was just to make like 3,000 a month. I thought I would be balling.
Same for me.
Literally.
I just my car. I'm like, man, I made a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
Awesome, man, I got a nice car. Like, let's say I'm driving an M4 BMW. I'm like, damn, this is the shit. I don't have to worry about my bills every month. Everything was on auto pay. This is great. But then it's like, wait a minute, I could do more. I want a Corvette V06. And then it's like, well, wait, I want a Lambo. You know, it's like,
Exactly.
you're always, you're going to get to one level and you're going to want to go to the next.
Yeah, because now if I made 3,000 in 1 month, I would literally cry. I would be satisfied. Bro, I'd be like, bro,
I'd be fucking.
oh man, what happened? Bro, that's already gone. So the bar always keeps raising. You're your own bar. Literally, you like every bar you put, that's the new level. If you underachieve that, you're not winning anymore. And that's how life works.
Yeah.
And the process, the journey is you guys should be content being at war. It's not truly about like winning the battle. It's about just being at war and winning. I like how Trump always, he's like winning. You want to be winning, but winning is a process. It's something you do. It's a verb. You are winning. That's something you got to do constantly. You don't just like win, because then you're a one-trick pony. And that's I usually like this guys like this. I mean, yo, bro, can you repeat that? You're a fucking one-trick pony. Like you just did that once. You're a one-trick pony. You never be a one-trick. You need to keep winning so much that your head is spinning.
I think that's a big key component, though, what you said, Prince. It's like you're at this bar and you make less money. Most of these guys, if that happens, most of the men out there that this happens to, in my opinion, are not real men. They go, shit, I just got knocked out. And they don't get back up. And they let it continue to fall instead of going,
Go back to
do that. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
when that happens to me, it drives me and I double what I'm doing. And then when I get back to where I was, I'm like, wait a minute. That took me half the amount of time this time around to get back to here than it was 6 months ago, because I was super driven, because I did fail a little bit or I backslid. So it's like, why not continue that exact same drive the whole time? I could quadruple what I'm doing now.
Exactly.
So it pushes you.
What do
feel
you think?
The main principle is that you're either growing or you're dying. So for me, it was like once I got to a certain point, I got comfortable. Like you said, you go below that bar and you realize I don't have a fucking choice but to give it my all.
Yeah.
Because when I don't, I'm just going to be dying.
You're going to be
We're men.
depressed
We're
even.
competitive. We're masculine. It's
Yeah.
never, win is enough. It isn't ever.
Literally, I mean, and I take track as a example because I think it's the best example. Let's say I run a record, a personal record, right? Let's say even I run the national record. I run that, everyone's like, oh my God, that's amazing. Next time, if we're on exactly the same time, people are like, oh, cool. Like, that's not special anymore. Now people are like, yo, why you need to run faster?
You're actually out there hunting for someone to beat you so then you can level up again.
Yeah, and now everyone's creeping up on you because the competition's not sleeping. And as soon, you're going to be a nobody. So you just keep on raising the bar so high that people can't catch you and you keep winning all the time.
That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it interesting.
Breaking records, that's the best feeling, breaking records. You can't just break a record once because now the record is broken. You got to keep breaking it. That's the only thing that's going to give you satisfaction in life.
Facts.
Any other good questions there?
Let me see.
Let's take one more.
I'm going to find the main one everyone's asking, what would you do if you start from zero?
Uh-huh.
We already answered that. Let me see. Let me find a good one. We already answered this one. Let's see. So I feel like this is one we could answer. Is college a waste of time? So we'll all have different answers here.
Yeah, what does it have to do?
Actually, I'm interested in your opinion. What do you think?
So in my personal opinion, it didn't make sense for me. I actually dropped out of high school, right?
That's crazy, yeah.
And I dropped out when I had nothing going on. Like I wasn't even blowing up on social
There's
media.
no reason to drop out. You was like, screw this.
I just knew I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to work 9 to 5, anything like that. But the main thing I feel like that's different now is that the price of colleges has went up exponentially.
Oh, it's
so
crazy.
when your parents got a college degree versus you getting one now, it's completely different.
It made sense back then.
Yeah.
Like when my grandparents or your grandparents went to school, and they're trying to tell you to go back to school. It's because that was their mindset, and it made sense back then.
Yeah.
Because they actually got legitimate degrees that, at the time,
I don't know why.
the workspace and the workforce had jobs ready for them to go to make a lot of money. You know, to live in a big house and to drive a nice car. But we can't do that nowadays.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
unless you're a doctor, an attorney, some sort of NASA engineer, in my opinion, college and going to school was a waste of time.
But
Unless
you
it's
went through a
something-
whole system, right? You became a full-blown doctor.
Exactly. So again, if
With
it's
loans
something
and everything.
specific, yes. Like a lot of these kids start out, oh, it's just you got to go to college. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll do bachelor's. I'll become I'll get my business degree. It's like they have no idea really what the bigger picture is. So in that aspect, it's like, no, don't go to school. Don't take out the loans. That's a waste of time. Unless you're dead set, know exactly where you want to go, which most people at that age have no idea, even who they are as a person, to be able to choose that. Yeah, it's a waste of time. But if you're going to go and you're going to be a doctor or you're going to be an attorney or you want to be some engineer, then I think it's worth it because you're going to get those skills that you can't get anywhere else to have that resume to get that job.
Yeah.
But those are very specific skills.
Yeah. So this main quote I always repost is that formal education will secure you a living. Self-education can make you a fortune.
Exactly.
And that's what it was for me. I didn't want to go sign up to student loan debt and go through that same route. I was already not liking high school, so I'm like, I'm definitely not going to like college. But the thing about colleges is look at the business model. Like they have a vacuum now where they're teamed with the banks and they can push the prices to whatever.
It's unlimited.
Why are there trillions of dollars in student loan debt? Like we have to ask ourselves that question. Most of the people aren't successful going through
It's
college.
to keep you at the bottom end of the middle class.
So,
all it is.
yeah,
it's to keep you at your 9 to 5.
I'm not sure how true this is, but they say the first schools were made to create factory work.
Yeah, no. I mean, I went through college. I actually, I did very well. Magna cum laude. That means like, excellent grades, everything. I did it like the way I'm supposed to. But I think the number one thing you have to always have in mind is what's the ROI.
Yeah.
If you're literally studying psychology, history, or business, sorry, but you're wasting your money. You're totally wasting your money because there's nowhere near a good ROI you're going to get from that. It's bullshit.
Yeah, look at these guys that go to school for, like I said, financing and business, and they become a CPA or they become a financial advisor.
Are you even learning
And here's the
business?
thing. We go to those guys, obviously, to help manage our money, and I'll call 20 of them in a row. And the first thing I ask them is, hey, what kind of car you drive, man?
Really, you asking that?
Yeah, they're like,
You have a Lambo? No, dude.
They're like, oh, I got a Toyota Corolla. It's like, okay, yeah, do I want to take financial advice from you?
No.
Of course not.
No.
You want to
no,
you're going to manage my money, but you don't have more money than me?
Yeah.
What world does that make sense?
Yeah, 95% of degrees are bullshit. If you're literally studying psychology and you think that's a good idea, you're fucking stupid. You shouldn't be doing that. You should you should get a high value skill that's gonna make a lot of money. You telling me you're gonna get fucking $100,000 of loans just to study something that's completely useless, that's completely outdated? You could just read psychology books and then just have way better psychology than everyone else. And then, but you're taking $100,000 loans, so you don't need that. So I agree with you. If it's a specific thing like engineer where you actually can make money, software where you can actually make money, doctor where you can actually make money, then yeah, go to college for that. But if it's some bullshit degree where it's just fluff, or the worst one is communications. No, sorry, but if you're studying communication, you should fucking
communication.
You should reevaluate your life.
What is communication? What does that mean? I don't even know what that
You
is.
should. I had like
You're gonna
communication
be like
classes.
$80,000 in student loans to go get communications or something. I'm like,
Bro, I had communication classes, and he was teaching me the format on how to like put the dates. Like, is it like you write Sunday or you like SUN? And I told the teacher, yo, sorry, I can't do this shit. She was like, but you know it's important, and you should be still studying. I was like, I'm sorry, it's just drops class now.
indoctrination.
Fuck that shit.
What that is.
Yeah. No, my main thing, even in high school, I just had no respect for my teachers. Like,
Oh, really?
I just couldn't listen to them because they weren't where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Like I was the class clown and I'd be disrespectful to my teacher. Like I was an asshole in school.
Yeah. No, but
that sums up the
that sums it up. Yeah, but it was a great talk, guys. I hope you guys learned a lot. Like you said, they can hit you up on Vincent Fisher
Vincent Fisher _ on Instagram.
on Instagram. You can hit me up. You know, I answer all the questions. You guys can hit me up if you need any help. Fortunatus, FORTUNATUS _ Prince, and then you.
Dr. Russ of Dr.RUSS. Yeah, obviously,
Nice.
y'all got on there, DM all of us. We can answer some more questions.
Great.
Send us some information about what y'all want to hear next. We'll hit another podcast. Make sure that we educate everybody.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic. Great, good.
Let's get it.
Let's.